on the Tartarian Empire. The first book is The Travels of Marco Polo. That was also called Book of the Marvels of the World, or The Million. The Travels of Marco Polo is a book that was published on the 30th of April 1352. The book was written by Rusticano Santuccio Colascio and originally known as Description of the World. In chapter 44, the origin of the kingdom of the Tartars, of the quarter from whence they came, and of their formal subjection to Un Khan, a prince of the north called also Prester John. Chapter 45, concerning Genghis Khan. Chapter 46, of 6 successive emperors of the Tartars. Chapter 47, of the wandering life of the Tartars.